And while the Kremlin has announced that details of talks between the U.S. and Russia held in Saudi Arabia Monday will not be made public, while the two countries had planned to release a joint statement, it remains unclear if that will happen today. Ukrainian and U.S. delegations have also reportedly wrapped up their discussions in Riyadh, with more information expected soon. A key topic of Monday's talks was the potential revival of a 2022 Green Deal, which would allow Ukraine to export grain across the Black Sea. In return, Russia is reportedly seeking relief from Western sanctions. The White House source has also disclosed that the discussions went extremely well, while a Russian negotiator described them as useful. Thank you for staying with us on The World Now. We're talking about the two countries, Russia and Ukraine, which are planning to release a joint statement, although it remains unclear what both countries have decided. Ukrainian and U.S. Delegations reportedly wrapped up their conversations in Riyadh today. Well, joining me for more on this is the chairman, Nigeria in Diaspora Russia chapter, Godwin Ibe. Thank you for joining us on The World Now. We saw the Ukrainian delegation being led by the defense minister, while the Russian delegation was represented by lower-ranking diplomats. What does this say about the approach of both parties to these talks?
Well, I can say that both parties are interested in defending their interests or getting as much as possible from the deal, from any potential peace deal. And I think the interests of both sides are clear, for including the third parties, not just Russia and Ukraine. I think also the US, Europe, and all the other people who have, throughout the course of the conflict, do I say pretended to be ideologues in terms of, protecting rights when all boils down to interest at the end, whether it's resources, whether it's territory, whether it's industries, it all boils down to that finally. And I think the talks reveal that all sides are looking for not just any kind of peace, but a peace that takes into account their deep-seated national and strategic interests.
And for a peace that considers this kind of factors, the position of Russia and Ukraine, from what we've always seen, is really far apart. We know that these are enemies, but from what you observe, would you say that the negotiators, especially from the U.S., have been able to narrow down some of these rifts and make an agreement more likely?
Well, the truth is that it's only the US and Russia that has leverage in this conversation. And the other parties will have to accept to disagree, unfortunately, or do I say fortunately, by these two parties. The reason is that Russia, we're just looking at the map, you can see Russia has the largest landmass. Sometimes I ask myself where the other countries were, including my dear country, Nigeria, when the plot of land was shared. Okay, I'm being a little bit cheeky. But just looking at the global map, you can see that Russia has the largest landmass, filled with resources, has the military power to protect its interests. US, one of the, if not the biggest global superpower today, if China hasn't overtaken it. These are the main factors in geopolitical powers globally. And obviously, once their interests are represented, the other parties are most likely to accept what is agreed, unfortunately. I don't mean to sound like I don't take their interest into consideration. I really respect and I really hope it will be taken into consideration, because I think a lasting peace will be one that is seen as fair and just by even the people that are not considered or deemed too important. But the way geopolitics works is based on leverage, and I think Russia and the US has the most leverage in this conversation.
I believe there are still concerns about, the negotiations focusing on ending attacks on energy facilities, why both Russia and Ukraine have already agreed on this principle. But there are questions as to why this is still being discussed while trying to sue for peace. But I'm sure we will have a report by the end of the day, statement from both sides. Thank you for talking to us, Chairman, Nigeria in Diaspora Russia chapter, Godwin Ibe. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.